Hello guys, welcome to another episode of It's a Wonderful Life, starring me, Empress V, Queen V, often imitated, never duplicated. And
I'm your man DJ Tiz. You can catch me on Instagram at _I am DJ Tiz, and also Instagram Studio 54 Grooming.
I'm Paige, also known as Slick Dresser. You can find me on Instagram at slick_dresser.
And this is in between the fade, right? I thought this was in between the fade.
no, I know.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Guys, I missed the first one, so that I wanted that to be my introduction for the first one that they recorded without me. So that was my preliminary for the first one. So sorry guys. Oh, also my Instagram is got the Midas touch. Everything I touch turns to gold.
And how y'all doing? I'm Story. Y'all can follow me at True Story Cuts. Story with an I, not a Y. Cuts with a Z, not an S.
All right, let's get right into it. Who here got hemorrhoids?
Not today, tomorrow, or the next day. We are grown people and we will.
So we're not going to talk about hemorrhoids today.
Absolutely not.
Don't you get hemorrhoids from sitting on like cold concrete?
This is the time of the year to get it, I guess.
I had 3 clients that could not hold still in my chair today, and I'm thinking it's an outbreak of hemorrhoids. Have you ever had that? Grown men, and they did a lot of winching and scooting and scratching.
What
So-
if they just had
It might not be
miscellaneous
hemorrhoids.
itch and they just didn't want to do a little
But
scratch?
all 3
Maybe
in one day?
It might not be hemorrhoids.
maybe they do something when they leave that we just don't know about. We don't know everything. Variety's the spice of life, right? Which brings us into one of our first topics, right?
What's the topic?
Dating in the 2020 or 2019. So it's winter time. How are you guys dating for the winter?
Cuffing
Is
season.
it cuffing season?
Well, I'm out the dating game, as you know, but I would love to hear some wonderful stories. No pun intended story.
With an I, not a Y.
I think dating is it's harder than what it was back in the day. I don't know.
That tends to happen. The older you get, it gets harder.
No, not the older. I don't have issues with dating, if that's what you're saying.
Oh.
Because what's your title? What
What do you mean, what's my title?
what's your dating status?
I'm not single.
Okay. I like that. She's
I'm
not
courting.
single. She's courting.
She's courting.
That's a young
Courting.
lady right there. She's courting.
She's like an albatross.
With benefits.
With courting with benefits. I like the benefits. So, guys, I have a friend, right? My good girlfriend. She has a winter application process. She's a spooner, so it's not love. She just wants to spoon, wants to have nice dinners. She thinks she's funny. She likes to watch movies. And the benefit is, she said she's not that big into holidays, so you do not have to buy her a gift. So, but your benefit will be, I think she said she will help you date in the future. How you guys feel about that?
So help me understand this whole application. Is it like what's the purpose?
Okay, so sometimes
Is it a purpose for her? Is she like just giving out dating practices, or
What
is she like a prostitute or an escort in a way? Like
Right.
Okay.
Is there
There's nothing wrong with that. Escort is a very
We support all
fine.
types of
it's a
lifestyles.
lucrative life job.
It's a very
right?
fine,
Help me
morally
help
sound
me
career
understand.
choice.
From my understanding, right? I'm gonna, I guess, speak as if I was her. From my understanding, it's just for the winter. It's cold. She likes to be a single, but for the winter, sometimes she gets cold. So it's almost like teaching someone how. It's almost like teaching someone how to fish. So people will say, "Well, what's the man's benefit?" She helps the man learn how to date. You guys can role play various scenarios. The girl can stay warm. Look, you guys will get some culture. You watch old black movies.
How about if they don't want that? How about if they want to go to a supermarket, meet a woman in the grocer's freezer aisle, and do it the traditional way? Hi, how are you? My name is whatever, Willie. What's yours? Yeah, wow. We both have the same interests. Okay, we need to see each other once again. Why don't you give me your number and I'll give you a call? What happened to the traditional, that I think when you have organic relationships like that, without all of this prerequisites and all this nonsense, you get a better quality of life.
So,
that's my opinion.
It's like
And I'm sticking by
I
it.
like it. It's like the want ads. When if anyone opens up a paper, you have the want ads. You
So
look
like
for,
temporary man wanted.
you look well no you or classified.
So what is this just for cuffing season or
Yeah,
is it
so
just
it's a classified ad.
whatever
So
you
when you
wanted?
read through the ads, you go through your column. If that is not what you like, need not to apply. It's an application process.
I think
Some
that
applications
happens, or
will get
I
thrown.
don't think that's incognito. I think it's happening every day. You can go on Backpage, need not to apply if you don't want to.
I mean,
I don't even know if
but-
it's called, I don't know.
Shut down.
Close. No,
but you know very
I'm not privy to the new dating sites or freak sites. Because that's exactly what it is.
What if
A
you-
bunch of damn freaks.
What if you've been married so long and your partner took
With
you
a
to
platform.
Like, so
Go to
anyways,
church.
I just
You
feel
heathens.
like sometimes
It's like a preacher today, so I
Right.
guess we gonna
I
take
just
this
feel like
church tonight.
sometimes if people will be upfront in
That's deep
situations, relationships, then things would have more longevity. We lie too much in a relationship. Won't you just start off with the truth, and then maybe the relationship can continue
The
with
truth
the
is
truth.
relevant.
So
But
do
the
you
truth
feel
is
like
the
you're
truth.
anti-traditional relationship or do you feel like it's like you make up the rules as you go?
Yes, I want to define whatever me and my partner deems to be a relationship. I don't want
But
Webster,
isn't that how it's
Oxford, anybody to determine my relationship. It's between me and the person that I'm involved with for us to make the ground rules. And that's just
So
how
how do you feel about
that's how a
open
relationship is
relationships?
supposed to be, right?
it's supposed to be operative
Yeah.
word, right? Because a lot of people go with, well, this is what my family does or what society says. But if you just follow however you want to do it, I think that works better for whoever's involved.
I think as long as you and your spouse have open communication with each other and you both be upfront about what it is that you want at the beginning, then you can move forward from there. Because if you don't establish a foundation of where you guys want to start in the first place, you may not know like, oh, I don't like this person or I don't like to do what you like to do. If y'all never discussed it, where does that leave you?
I feel like it's a lot of people that sacrifice certain things that they want, or they not so much lie, but they upfront, like in the beginning, they try to put off. They try to put off a certain narrative, like they want this type of relationship, but in all reality, they want something different. Now, how do you like
What happens when you
figure
don't?
those people out?
What
That's why
happens?
your application process,
No,
you
no,
do
no.
references, toss them out. Y'all say, toss
Time-
out the bad application.
Time out. Time out.
Pick a good applicant.
You guys are talking. You guys. Yeah, you guys. You people. You people.
People.
You
Are you
got
talking to
You
the black
people.
and brown?
No, I'm talking about the female species.
Alright.
You people are talking like you're gonna know what you want 2 years from now.
I feel like
You do not know what you might want 2 years from now. So it's not that you meet a person and you lie or you do things. People evolve, and people evolve at rates that might not be commensurate with the rate that your spouse, the love of your life, evolves in.
I agree.
And that's where the disconnect comes from.
I agree with that.
So how do you help that? Like, do you communicate to your spouse? Like, I'm going through a change, or I'm going through an ascension process, or I'm evolving into something else. And I think that discussion can help your partner deal with whatever it is that you're going through.
I don't have a problem with that. But whenever you're telling your partner that you're going through something, if it's positive, it's going to be celebrated. If it's negative, it's going to be frowned upon. I'm going through something, baby.
Because most people
want to date a man now. No, that won't be celebrated.
No,
it's not going to be supported.
You're right.
And no, that's going to be something that will be frowned upon. So what does he do?
And
He keeps it to himself. And he lies.
Yes.
And now you have the big problem and somebody ends up brokenhearted.
There you go. Or in couple, one thing that me personally I have against relationships, because that was not me with the application process. I said my friend, but one problem I have, two problems I have with relationships.
She got two incomplete applications, by the way, too.
Excuse you.
They didn't sign their name.
Excuse you. One thing is complacency. People stay with people because they have become complacent, and the other is we are creatures of habits. So sometimes you might be fed up with the person, but because you're habitual, you can't leave. Because you're complacent, you just won't leave. So that's when people start to lie and create all these other extra things in relationships, and they can't properly communicate because we always want to control another human being. I don't want that. So
whatever happened to the oath? It's an oath.
It's not supposed to be easy.
Some people live by their word. I'm a person of value and virtue. I'm a person, if I give you my word, that's my word. Some people stand and they take an oath, they take a vow. So no, when times get hard, they're not gonna just leave. They shouldn't just leave because they have an oath. They took a vow. If it's that easy just to leave, then we should just do away with marriage altogether.
But what about the people that have been together 16 years and seriously, so like you guys said, you grow in a situation. So I'm a firm believer that I don't think if you're under 34, and it's just numbers I'm throwing out, under 34 you should get married. I think you should enjoy life, and then when you get into your late 30s, you get it out your system, and now I feel like you're more settled. Because in our 20s we think we love someone because everything's free, life hasn't happened, and I think that's when the relationship, you're stuck now. Because now in your 20s, you're evolving, experiences coming, and then when you get to your early 30s, you're almost perfecting who you're going to be, but now you're stuck with this person because of what you guys did at 21, but you're a new person now.
How could you make that so blanket?
I just feel like you make it so...
How can you make that so blanket? You have women at 17 in villages, probably in Africa, that have families. No, I'm just going to use Africa.
Yeah.
Probably in villages in Africa that have children, that's probably raising children. The maturity level of this young woman at 17 is nowhere near the little spoiled brat that some of you guys got at home.
Well, can we talk about here?
No, we're talking about here. But what I'm saying is, you cannot just lay a blanket statement like that. Everybody's different. And some people, being married is their definition of enjoying life.
But you see,
so don't tell me to go enjoy life. I might go get married.
But what you just said,
because to me,
you just said the definition of marriage. You're supposed to be in love with the person, not the title of what. Some people are just being in love with being married or being in a relationship.
No, how about they want to do things the way?
You're supposed to be in love with the individual, not the title.
Listen,
so me personally,
traditionally marriage was never about love or anything like that. It was a contract between two people that.
Usually two families.
Two families, right?
Right. Yeah. It wasn't the people, because you got a lot. Right. You got a lot of arranged marriages that go on in 2019, almost about to be 2020. I mean, you know what I mean? So you still got people getting arranged marriages. That has nothing to do with love. It has nothing to do with none of that. It has to do with it's culture. Right. But getting back to something that you said that I totally disagree with. I totally disagree with. Live your life first.
I do think
so. It depends. Listen.
But it's not just about living your life. It's about loving your life and loving yourself too.
Who you are first.
And a lot of people go into relationships thinking that they know what true love is, and they hate themselves. So they want to look for that extra person to fill that void within themselves, and they can't do that because that's not how it works.
Exactly.
True love is love of self.
Yeah, you have to love yourself first. Yes.
What you guys are
I don't
missing.
feel like there's an age limit on long after.
It
There's
is.
some people that's 60 years old that's never loved themselves a day in their
And
life.
that is true too.
I mean, that's
these are not absolutes.
And they probably
We're not
miserable
speaking
by
in
now.
absolutes.
They hated themselves up to 60 years old.
But one
So,
thing,
so what happened to the person that believes in their in their religion, and their religion teaches them not to go and have fun and go lay and sleep with this one and that one and live your life and have fun. But if I want to be intimate with someone, this man has to be my husband, this woman has to be my wife, I'm gonna do it that way. It does not doom that marriage.
No,
Some of them
you're
people
right.
stay married forever.
that's why I said it's not an absolute statement. But
Don't take religion out of it. Some people do live by rules.
So-
As a lot of people,
Okay.
I ain't gonna point, but they want to live life without rules.
okay, you're right.
You have to have
I just want to
rules.
use my brain. But okay, so
You
me
can use your
personally,
brain.
I've never been married. I lived with someone for 10 years, but I've never
You've
been married.
been sinning.
But that's fine. According to whose judgment, but it's fine.
Oh,
so,
Go to
Sin.
church tonight.
so
we all
I
we got
have-
Deacon Thomas.
I have a couple of male clients.
Story sinning too.
I have a couple of male clients, right?
Paige sinning too.
And I have no, she's married, and I've asked, don't do that. And I've asked my male
That's on
clients.
another topic.
Right.
I've asked my male clients, and I'm telling my male clients,
These people bad.
Mike sinning too.
I have my male clients, and they're like, "What? Yeah." And they didn't know the
I
husband and the wife were telling me they wanted to divorce each other. But then when they got back with the family, it looks good. But then they come back, oh, we want to divorce each other. So I'm asking them, why are you married? One told me he was staying married for his children. So I said, okay, let me ask you a question. Are you teaching your kids, your boys, so you're putting them out into the world, you're teaching them that daddy goes downstairs in the basement, mom's upstairs, they never touch, they never show, I guess, love, so this is how your boys are gonna love? I'm like, hey, why don't you leave the situation and be happy, and that way you can show your boys happiness instead of teaching them complacency? Because now you're putting these broken kids in the world that are not seeing love properly. My parents, my natural mother and father, when I was 6, I didn't know how to articulate this. When my mother used to drive to my dad's house because they tried to get back together, I was crying. I knew at that time they were not good together. I couldn't articulate it, but I'm like, so I'm not all for stereotypical or by the book. I believe some people get in situations too young and they don't know how to leave. So this person has become your whole life, your everything. So now you're grown up in the situation, but you don't want to be with that person anymore. It's okay.
But I feel like that really touches on an issue that's not so much about marriage or relationships, but more so about people. I feel like there's too many people that don't know themselves, don't love themselves, and don't know what they want. Then to add that to a person, you can't add a half to a situation and try to create a whole. You should both be 2 whole people and come together.
Are you ever whole? I don't believe in this life you're ever whole. I think you are whole when you
completely
take
whole.
your last breath and you close your eyes. You are whole. That is final.
You are
that
whole, literally, in
you are
the hole.
no.
In the hole.
You are whole. You are definite. You are final.
Why? 'Cause
Your
360,
chapter,
came back
you went
360?
360. Your chapter is closed. Any unfinished business is not unfinished business
I
no
can
more.
agree with that.
Because that's the only, we are people that are constantly learning.
Yes, I
We
agree.
are constantly evolving.
Yes.
If I right now said that I got married because I was whole with myself and I was that, I'm lying. No. I got married because I wanted someone to walk this walk with me through life, to help me learn. I can help them learn. You are not whole until you take your last
Can you
breath.
give the people some? You were married, girl. Your heart, if you thought you was married.
Okay,
I feel like
Just to segue really quick, because
I
I
chose to love myself.
feel like we're gonna stay on this topic for a very long time. So just to segue
Thanks.
really quickly.
Guys, this is
We're adding a
my.
new guy to the couch.
Welcome, Mike.
Don't sit
This
too
is-
close.
How y'all
This is
doing?
our
Say
Mike.
that type of.
This
Mike-
alarm right here on the
Mike,
couch.
Say that
introduce
type of
yourself.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Oh man.
Go ahead.
How y'all
introduce
doing
yourself.
this? It's Mike, aka Money Mike, Zenny Mike. I got my own podcast, Poor Reports. You can find me on Twitter, ZENNIMIKE. I just got my hair, you know what I'm saying? Got a nice little touch up. Thanks to STORI. But yeah, I'm listening to the conversation. I wanted to be a part of it. You know, as far as relationships and.
So what's your take on everything that we've been talking about?
I mean, I was just listening, you know, and it's interesting to hear everybody's side, especially having different experiences. I know you two are married, and then I know we all kind of have our own thing going on. So I completely.
Oh, we're not married to each other.
No, of course not.
Tiz and Paige
But
are
they're
married.
married, not together, but they have separate unions with other people. You know what I'm saying?
What is so funny?
They're not
A
going to negate the
story.
fact I lived with someone and they're his kids for 10 long years.
Technically, you were married.
Long.
That's a common law marriage.
Long years.
Practically. It's a
Roommates.
civil union right there.
Roommates.
You don't sass
I lived with roaches for the first 15
Oh,
years.
look.
Come on, Mr. Preacher Man.
Just because he got
That don't mean
corduroy
he's in a
on, he getting
relationship.
real fancy.
You get fancy with corduroy
He
suit.
got corduroys on.
You know, I will
We
say.
gonna turn this to a joke and stuff.
He's with some clothes.
Oh, yeah, I love my
Alright,
tongue.
that's cool. I will say that, you know what, just the experiences that I've come into contact with, marriage is a very serious union. It's a very serious commitment. But I have seen a number of people in my lifetime kind of abuse that relationship or that union. So for me personally, it's kind of hard to really identify or define what like a true marriage is, because I've only had one example to go by, and like that's my grandparents. So at one point they were all married. They were married to separate people at one point, and you know, like almost 40 years down the line, they got married. You know what I mean? They had their own to each other, right? Like my dad's dad was married to my grandmother, and he wasn't being completely honest in their relationship. And my grandfather was married to someone, and due to the space or the lack of space, and him, you know, working in another state, that kind of put a wedge in their relationship. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, everybody has a moment in life where they go through cycles, and it's up to you whether or not you truly believe this is where you want to be. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we can talk about spirituality, religion, and things happen for a reason. So if you feel that at some point in your mind you've decided, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. You know what I mean? You kind of just gotta contribute it, give it up to God, and let the cycle pass through. Because I guess like people say, you know,
I mean,
life
but
is like seasons.
You're not obligated to another human
yeah.
being. You're
You're not.
obligated to yourself. And I feel like people take, like how he was saying, the titles for granted. There is one thing I've come to know coming out of that 10-year relationship. I felt like it was boot camp. After 10 years, I realized as a woman, I will no longer blame a man for what went wrong in the relationship. I will blame myself. There was no noose around my neck or no gun to my head. So yes, you allow people to do what they do to you. Because you have free will to leave, and it's like us as human beings, we're, once again, I feel complacent. That's why we don't leave. No one's obligated to love you but your parents, and sometimes they don't even love you. So how can you put enough onus on another human being? Yes, I respect the entity of marriage. I've never entered it because I've never deemed someone worthy of me giving them my whole entire life, but those old black women back before technology and everything, you stayed with your man. My grandfather is 90 years old. He cheated on my grandmother with so many women. It's just that back in the day, she didn't have a job. She didn't have she didn't have a car, so you stayed. But no, it's like people love ourselves first. The other human being does not give you happiness. He just adds value to what you already have.
Well, let me ask you a question. I'm always look at the glass half full.
Empty.
What about, no, I'm not
Because
gonna
you
look
look
at
at
it
it half empty.
I'm gonna look at it half full. What about those that didn't go through the turmoil, that didn't go through the cheating, that didn't have an old ass grandfather cheating on the grandmother? How about those people that did not go through that, and their marriages was exactly what they wanted it to be? They took an oath to love and honor and cherish and be there for one another, and they did exactly that. So we can always pick a topic. We can always pick a topic and talk about all the negative about it. But it's a flip coin to everything.
I think marriage is beautiful.
Me too.
Yeah, I think marriage is a beautiful thing.
If it's done right, I I think it's wonderful.
What's right though?
However,
I
two
don't
people
think-
deem it to be.
I don't think
So I don't
it is
know.
the right or
So
wrong
there's
way.
no
It's
right
only
or
a way.
wrong
It's
to
only
do.
a way,
I can
not
see
a right
that.
or wrong way.
I think that, I mean,
What works
people
for me
might not work for someone else.
It's
And I think
situational.
society has kind of trying to get a control of that, of what they want marriage to be deemed as. And we look at that, or even people who've been married, we think that, oh, well, their marriage is working. Those are two totally different people from who you and your spouse might be. So it may not work for everybody.
Sometimes what
But
you
if you
see-
love each
Yeah,
other,
you're outside looking in.
right,
What
you're
it
on
is.
the outside looking in. But like Tiz said earlier, if you take that vow and you stick and you are really serious about the vow that you take to your spouse, then I think no matter what storms may come, that you guys